Welcome back to the channel, Brawlers, and thank you all for tuning in to another installment of my Bakugan Armored Alliance Fusion series. For those of you just joining me or just tuning in for the first time, in this series I will be reviewing all of the native fusions for Aurelus that debuted in the Armored Alliance arc of the series, or the show if you will. So this time it is going to be Ventus, and that is Trox and Nobilious. Luckily this set is all Ultra, which is something I did aim to do. Very excited though, because I am nearing the end of this series and I will be moving on to the core fusions after these Aurelus fusions. So starting things off, this time I am going to start with Trox. So this is the Armored Alliance version, which does have a few manual pieces and probably one of the cooler Trox molds. The Battle Planet one, it had just a bulbous head, and it did have a lot of detail in its own merit. But once Armored Alliance, once they got a hold of them and they had to make everything smaller for the battle gear, I think they just kind of fine-tuned the details, made things a little smaller, but still really well nonetheless. So once I fixed the lighting, there we go. Here is Trox. Now while I was talking, I did fold out all of the manual pieces. The mouth on mine is a little loose, but you do have a manual mouth there. The little arms do fold out, as well as the claws on the feet. Or maybe those are supposed to be the whole feet. I'm not really sure where the foot and where the leg ends on Trox. But anyway, yes, some manual pieces, just there for a little extra detail. The rest of Trox is pretty flat, right? There's not too much detail. He's probably one of the more basic molds as far as detail goes on the exterior of the Bakugan. Some nice line work for the legs and arms, I will say that, but otherwise, pretty just straightforward, not as much detailing as the Dragonoid or Pegatrix previously seen. Definitely more like the Hyderus, right? Not too much there. Now then, just the gate cards. And moving on to Nobilious, so the Aurelus half of the fusion. Really cool, really neat Bakugan. I was happy to get this Aurelus back. This was a Bakugan that I did preview before on the channel when I got the structure deck for it. That Nobilious I actually traded away, so this is an eBay grab. As such, I sadly did not get the character card for it. And that is partly why in this series I don't focus on the stats or character cards, because I did only have some for a few of them and not all. So once you fold Nobilious out, you do have some manual hind little feet here. Otherwise, it opens all the way up, straightforward, very nice detail. The head on mine is a little forward up pointing more than I think they should, but I guess that's normal. Really cool, a lot of detail out of the last wave of Battle Planet I noticed as far as like tiny bits, right? So Nobilious, Kloptor, Scorpios, Kellion, all of those Bakugan had a lot of smaller pieces, a ton of springs, and just a ton of functionability, a lot of folding, and I guess they were just trying to finish off Battle Planet with a bang, if you will. And yeah, as you can all see, there's just a lot going on with this Nobilious. Not just the detail, it does look good, obviously looks like the show, the weird Griffin type Bakugan that it was. Other than that, just mechanically and built wise, yeah, just a ton of springs, lots of pins, everything is just about spring loaded. Which, you don't really expect that a whole lot in Bakugan, especially Reboot. Usually you have like one spring for a whole half of a Bakugan, right? But what I appreciate about Nobilious is just all of the work that went into this one. Definitely one of the better Bakugan, at least in my opinion, from the final waves of Battle Planet. Plus, it's a Griffin. We don't get a lot of Griffin-type Bakugan other than Griffin in the Legacy series. Might have been a few more, but I think Nobilious and Griffin are one of the few Chimera Griffin-type Bakugan. Moving on to the fusion. So once again, it is native. So you're going to get that Ventus from Trox with the overlay of Aurelus Nobilious. So all of the paintwork, all of the detail is going to be your Aurelus colors, which really pop nicely. Very, very nice in my opinion. So do a quick little rollout here. And we threw some bread. Classic. There we go. So once you open up Trox and Nobilious, there's not a lot that like screams Nobilious to me, right? I mean, you have like, what, these back wings maybe? I guess that's what they're supposed to be. Very long tail. I mean, there is some line work there from the molding. Otherwise, it's just super long. A back piece that I'm not really sure if that's supposed to be anything or if that kind of just folds into the Bakugan. And you're supposed to focus on the Trox half, which clearly that is Trox if I ever did see it. They did a good job putting Trox into this, but I just don't think you see a lot of Nobilious. At least that's my opinion. If I'm missing something, please let me know in the comments down below. Am I completely looking at this wrong, or is it more or less just a Trox with extra bits on the back? Still really cool though. I'm not taking away from the mold at all. I did go out of my way to collect all of these, so obviously I like them. Aurelus being my favorite faction, had to get all of the fusions from the show. With that being said though, let's go ahead and try to close these up, which is always fun, right, coming from me. Lucky enough though, Trox and Nobilious, a bit easier. So I think you're going to want to fold in the legs, the bottom legs, and then the head, and that kind of wraps around with everything else. Yep, there we go. And then once again, that tail, the handy dandy tail, just folds over and closes it right on up. So there we go. That is a successful close for once. The standard Trox Ultra, I think, is the same, pretty basic. So we're going to fold in the manual feet, manual arms. I don't know how far back they're supposed to go. Pretty far. They actually have a lot of room there. The jaw normally closes, but mine is loose again. Fold head back, then the leg, feet, then legs, and then once again that tail is going to wrap right around, just like on the fusion. That's actually hilarious how it's almost kind of the same layout as far as magnet to tail. Just now noticing that, so that is a good similarity between the two molds, given one is the fusion of the other. Very neat. And now, probably the toughest part of this video for me. Get ready to laugh, everyone. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to pull this off. I was told how to do this before, but for the life of me, in the moment, I am just drawing a blank. So I'm going to fold in the arms, the legs, the back half, the head, all in one awful motion, and that's still not going to work. No, okay. So tail in. Yeah, so the hind legs hold the tail. That's good. Head. And then I'm assuming the wing parts. No. Yes. Wow, this is a lot harder than most Bakugan. But I think I'm getting progress. I'm kind of working it in. Don't let it overlap too much. And there we go. So yeah, your best bet is kind of to hold everything close together and just slowly work it into place. Refrain from like pushing too hard or forcing it. It will slide all together. At least mine did. Just go really slow about it. But that does it for the video, brawlers. If you want to watch any more quick looks of older Bakugan, please subscribe to the channel and like for more. But until next time, stay safe, drum up, and Bakugan. Well, you can miss, but usually you're supposed to Bakugan brawl. No, okay, one more time. Bakugan brawl. I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. See you next time.